At it again, and I don't know if you guys have heard, but there is some news coming out of the White House. Now, that news is the Secret Service is allegedly done with their search, and they didn't find who did it. Allegedly, of course. And my question is, so you mean to tell me anybody and everybody that was in or around the Capitol on J6, you were able to find? Anybody and everybody. Everybody and the grandmothers, you were able to find or identify and find, right? Because they had to identify them first. Then they found them where they live. You know what I'm saying? Went to their homes, the whole nine. You were able to identify and find these people, but you couldn't find who brought that cocaine into the White House. Now, I'm no professional on the White House, but I would assume there are a vast number of cameras. I would assume that there's some technology built into the White House that we aren't aware of. I mean, it's the White House, you know? Like, I would assume that it has some of the craziest technology built into it that you could ever imagine. Like, it has crazy good security. I would assume there's guards on the roof at times, and obviously guards around, you know, Secret Service, police officers, yada, 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 the whole nine, right? I would assume that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. But that's also alarming if I am wrong. But even further than that, so you mean to tell me that we can locate, you know, a terrorist that's off in some other country, dug deep underground in some super underground bunker? We're able to find, locate, and destroy these folks, but we can't figure out who brought the cocaine into the White House. You know, I don't know, man. You know, I got a big nose, so I can smell a lot of things, and smells like BS to me. Smells like this one might have been connected to the Bidens. You know, maybe Hunter himself. I don't know. You know, I'm just saying. This just smells like a cover up. You know, my nose senses are tingling. Smells like a cover-up to me. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling in the comment section, but that's what we're going to be diving into today. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you would like to help me out with the YouTube algorithm too, watch this video until the very end. The longer you watch it, the more it helps out the YouTube algorithm, so I greatly would appreciate it if you stuck around to the very end. And with that being said, let's dive in.
Service went to Congress to tell them they're closing the case. Does that mean they finally found out who had the coke? No. They don't even have a culprit. They don't even know when the cocaine was dropped.
When is there a range of when it was possibly left at this?
So Secret Service does not have an actual range of when the substance was left. They said that it could have been a few hours, a couple of days, or even years.
Years? They're blaming it on Trump?
Wow.
Come on.
Wow. This has got to be an absolute joke, man. Years, really. You had the cocaine in the White House for some years. Okay, it's just too easy, right? It's just too easy. You gotta blame it on Uncle Trump. You gotta figure out how to throw it. Well, we don't know when it came. It could have been years. Oh my goodness, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is just
And we still don't know where they found it. Remember, first we were told it was in the library, then it was in a little cubby, and then it was near the Situation Room. Where hasn't the coke been? But now the Secret Service is saying it's back in the cubby.
What we are told is there are 182 lockers on the wall of the foyer in the West Wing for individuals to put items in. And this was found in locker number 50, and the key currently is missing.
So, who used the cubby? Cubby number 50.
My question also, really quickly, because I know I've talked a lot already, is if you were going to pull this, which, listen, I don't know if they did or not. This is just the way that I personally feel, okay? So don't hit me with no misinformation, all right? It's just the way I personally feel. If you were going to pull this cover up in the first place, why even announce that you found it? You know what I'm saying? Why not just find it and throw it away? Get rid of it and just not ever say anything. I'm so baffled. Why even throw this whole thing together when you were just going to, oh, we don't know who did it in the end? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Well, the Secret Service doesn't know. And the key to the cubby just vanished. Was the cubby being used as a drop-off location? And who has the key? The person who did the drop or the person who picked it up? Only one of two people. And if you're living in the White House, you can't go out and score coke on the streets. Now, Hunter's had a D.C. hookup for years. He scored coke and crack from a woman named Ray, also known as Bicycles. Years ago in D.C., Hunter and Bicycles shacked up together for 5 months. Hunter talks about it in his book. Did Bicycles bring coke into the most secure building in the world with cameras all over?
Did you ask about tapes?
Yes.
And if there were
The only security footage is on, I believe it's called West Executive Avenue, and that is right outside the foyer of the West Wing. So that is the only security footage that is available. They went through, that's how they came up with this number of some 500 individuals. That's not an exact number, nor were we given the exact number. But there are not cameras in the foyer.
You're telling me cocaine winds up in the White House and there's no cameras? In the White House. The Secret Service has everything: facial recognition, security screenings, DNA, canines, forensic analysis, fingerprinting, logs. And the coke just happened to be dropped in the one blind spot. They investigate this for 10 days and all they know is that 500 people were near the coke? Thanks a lot, Secret Service. I mean, what if this was ricin? This means the Secret Service wouldn't be able to find out who brought ricin into the White House. The Secret Service is supposed to sniff out assassins, bomb threats, kidnapping attempts. They can't crack a drug deal at the White House.
That's a great point. What if this was like actually something extremely dangerous, right? Some kind of poison. Well, I mean, that cocaine isn't exactly safe, you know what I mean? But you guys know what I'm getting at. What if it was like legit some type of poison of some sort? You know, dare I say the B word, you know, and an explosive device, right? If it's that easy to get something in there, that's a bit scary. It's very scary.
We can pull a serial killer's DNA off of an incinerated hairbrush in a landfill 25 years after a crime. You're saying we can't find one fingerprint on this bag of coke? Not one? Not one DNA sample? What, did Bicycles wear latex gloves? Hey, Secret Service, maybe check the security video for someone wearing latex gloves. The Secret Service has a $3 billion a year budget, billion. And they can't solve a case that a local county detective can solve like that. But the Democrats are satisfied.
You know, there are thousands of people who enter there every single day, 10,000 a week or something. You know, we don't check people for drugs on the way into the Capitol or into the Capitol office building, so we wouldn't know if somebody brought some in here.
You're satisfied, or at least, like, you know, you thought it was a thorough investigation in terms of what they...
Oh, yeah, I'm satisfied it's a thorough investigation.
Of course Raskin's satisfied, but he's a liar. This wasn't a random person getting a tour or a construction worker. Whoever brought the coke had special access.
It couldn't be just anyone. It's not just any visitor to the White House. It is a person that was brought in, either a pass holder themselves or brought in with a pass holder on that particular day.
If this was the Trump White House, Democrats would be demanding Donald P. in a cup. Stephen Miller would be strapped to a lie detector test. They'd be giving Kellyanne a full-body cavity search. Pence would be forced to undergo field sobriety tests. Did you know that you have to pass a drug test to work at the White House? So everyone at the White House has already been drug tested. Well, aside from the first family. So what's the big deal if you drug test them again? Well, Democrats say it would violate the druggies' civil rights.
I've heard Republican members suggest that they should drug test everybody who is in the White House for that week or that day, you know, which is hundreds or thousands of people. And that would strike me as a massively disproportionate and overblown response that would violate people's civil liberties.
Maybe it's a
What?
bit too far to make 500 people pee in a cup, but didn't they make everybody contact trace like crazy for COVID? When Trump caught COVID, the media made maps of everybody who was near him for 72 hours. I mean, the media, the Democrats, everybody made everybody get COVID tested every single day. The Democrats and the media haven't investigated this at all. By the way, is cocaine more dangerous than COVID? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But just keep this in mind. The Secret Service director, Kimberly Cheadle, used to be a part of Vice President Biden's security detail. And if you remember, Vice President Biden used to skinny dip in front of his female Secret Service agents.
Allegedly.
So Cheadle, who knows Biden a little too well, gets tapped to lead the Secret Service? Is Cheadle compromised? Well, we don't know. And why are the Bidens always leaving stuff behind? Guns, laptops, crack pipes, diaries. And the government's always there to clean it up. Did you know this isn't the first time they found drugs in the Biden White House?
In 2022, twice, while going through screening, people were caught with marijuana in their possession. So for this being the third time that drugs were found on the White House property during the Biden administration, it certainly poses the question, what kind of people are we allowing to go onto that premise, and what is their actual purpose there?
Primetime needs to know the details of these two other drug discoveries in the Biden White House, and we're on it, don't worry. And by the way, we were told Hunter's itch was gone. But from 2003 to 2019, Hunter relapsed at least 10 times. He'd say he was going to rehab, and
Allegedly.
a lot of the times he never made it. Fair question. Did Hunter relapse? We hope he didn't. Hunter's supposed to keep his nose clean for the plea deal. Does that explain the cover-up? We've been seeing a lot of Hunter lately, haven't we? State dinners, Air Force One, Rose Garden, Camp David, Rehoboth, Ireland, 4th of July. Hunter is always with Joe Biden, always. Carrying that stupid big red backpack around. Why is he always carrying the backpack? And why is Joe keeping Hunter so close? Isn't it weird that the president's 53-year-old son, who's married with children, is living at the White House? Joe's been telling his staffers, quote, hands off Hunter. And that probably goes to the Secret Service, too. You think Cheadle's saying no to the big guy? And this is why we need a real investigation into Cocaine Gate.
On the White House cocaine investigation, do you think now that Secret Service says they've ended their investigation, is there a role for Congress to play here?
Yes, because they should end their role. You can't tell me in the White House with 24/7 surveillance in a cubbyhole by a situation when you don't know who to deliver it. I mean, the American people think that's a farce. You should get an answer to the question. It just seems to me in America today, anything involving Biden Inc. gets treated different than everything else, and that shouldn't be the case.
So what?
We should know who brought the coke into the White House, and the Secret Service can't just cover it up. Cheadle, if the investigation's over, respond to our Freedom of Information Act. Give us the coke file. Give us the surveillance footage near those little cubbies. Since you didn't look at it, we'll look at it. If you give it to us, we'll crack the case like that. So give America what it wants, Cheadle.
You know that's not happening. Oh, man. Cocaine in the White House. Goodness gracious. Oh. And then allegedly this is the third time. Third time. First two times we didn't hear about it, which is why I'm just like, why'd we hear about it this time? If you were just going to, oh, well, we don't know who did it. I don't know. Why didn't you just keep it a secret? You kept it a secret the first couple of times. I'm just lost. I'm just lost. But this is, hey, this is great for Uncle Trump. This is fantastic for Uncle Trump. As I've told you guys, I monitor social media when big things happen. And on leftist pages, once again, there have been people waking up to the truth and saying out loud, hey, if this was Trump, they would have flipped the whole thing upside down. Oh, we know it was Hunter. We know it was Joe, right? So, yeah, they're only waking more people up to the truth and really sinking this administration's chances of winning in 2024. So I love it. I just wonder what this administration is planning on doing, because you know they plan on trying to pull something out of their sleeves, out of their hat, whatever you want to call it. to get this administration back, in line with, winning 2024. I just wonder what it is, right? I wonder what it is. What type of bribe are they going to try to give the American people to just forget about this cocaine in the White House? What are they going to do? I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think they're going to try to pull to make people forget what happened? Let me know. But this is absolute insanity. And the fact that they were trying to say, oh no, a drug test would be, going against people's civil liberties. Well, you get drug test. You've already been drug tested to work at the White House. Second, a lot of people get drug tested to work at jobs. So is like, should we just be denying that and we should just be hired regardless at our jobs if we don't want to take a drug test? Is that what they're saying? It's just funny how Democrats always have some type of lame excuse for something. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.